Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing some bird photography and bird watching since I've been able to borrow this Fujifilm 70-300mm lens for a little while, and I've been already using it for around a week, so I thought I would give some of my thoughts on the lens, some of my experience using it, and show some behind the scenes video and some video and photo taken with this lens. And I've been able to borrow this from my local camera store in Berlin, which is Fotoleistenschneider. They have a few locations in Berlin and a few other cities in Germany. And I can highly recommend if you're looking to get camera equipment or for some advice on camera equipment and you're in a place where they have a location. I've always had great service there, so I can highly recommend going by. There's a sea eagle there, a white-tailed eagle. Yes, you can tell I'm maybe not in Berlin, but I'm actually a bit further north in Germany with a friend doing some bird photography and bird watching. So I thought this would be a good spot to talk about this birding lens, how the lens is for birding, and we're also going to a few more locations later on, and I can take you along for that and show you what we see. So like I mentioned, I've had this lens here for a few days already to test, and one of the first places I went, actually twice, is a fairly well-known birding location near Berlin, where there's a few ponds and it's particularly well known for the crane migration. And the ponds are not as good for bird photography, but there's often some cool species here. And one of the coolest things was a rarity that had been recorded, which is Pygmy Cormorants. There were, I think, 9 maximum reported, and I was able to see those. Not close enough to get any good photos, but at least get some good identifiable images and a very cool species to see since they're otherwise very rarely reported in this area of Germany. And afterwards we saw a few more things on the way over to see the cranes both days, so I'll just show some photos and videos of the things that I saw. Everything except for the behind the scenes footage, of course. Everything else is filmed with my Fujifilm X-H2 and the 70-300mm lens, so you can get an idea of what the images and video look like from this lens. On the first day that I was at this location, I was also with my friend Adi, who's a great bird and wildlife photographer, so I thought I would show a few photos and videos that he got here as well. And yeah, I'll also put up the link to his Instagram if you want to see more of his photos. So yeah, I found a few cool subjects and got some photos that I'm quite happy with at that location. And overall, I've been very happy with the image quality from this lens and also the autofocus. It's quite fun actually. This is the first time that I've been able to use the autofocus on my Fuji X-H2, because previously I only had 2 macro lenses from Laowa, which are of course only manual. So they're manual focus only. And so this was actually the first time that I've been able to use the autofocus, and I have to say that I quite like using the autofocus of this camera, especially for birding, and the lens is quite snappy as well. I haven't done any concrete image quality tests, but it seems good enough for me, for my purposes, and I've been able to get some quite sharp images as well, as you've been able to see. So that was a brief overview of my first experiences with the lens and some of the first images and video I got. For now, I'll just show a few more pictures from this trip so far, and then we'll keep going to the next location. So it's the next morning and I'm out in the garden to finish off this video. Yesterday we had a great evening watching the hen harriers come into roost. And yeah, I don't know if I got any great photos, but I got a few that are kind of nice and show the effect, the feeling, and it was just a nice experience seeing so many of this really cool bird species. We ended up riding back in the dark and it was a bit late to film an outro, so that's why I'm out here right now. As far as this lens goes here, the 70-300mm from Fuji, I think that if I were looking to get a telephoto lens for Fuji, I would look into this one because I don't tend to sit in one spot waiting for birds or go out maybe with an aim of doing bird photography. I more like to have a birding setup with me sometimes to photograph whatever I see. And that's where this lens being really small and light comes in as an advantage over something like the 150-600, which would obviously have a lot more reach. But this one still has, what's small, it has decent reach at 300mm, and on the X-H2 I've got enough room to crop in a bit more, and the image quality is great. So I really enjoyed using this lens, and actually there's a lot of birds flying around right now, so I'll try to finish this off quickly and go and get a few more photos. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, and here's whatever else that I can manage to do with this lens while I have it for the next few days.